Hello, 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 everybody. Hi. What is my hair doing? I have no idea. Welcome. My name's Eve. This is Eve's Creations Paint Party, and it's How To Tuesday. What? So, there's no actual painting tonight. We're going to be practicing, and tonight is lighthouses. Yes, I'm going to do one in the daytime. We're going to do one in the nighttime, and I'm going to show you how to paint a lighthouse. So, this way, you guys can make your creations that much better. All right, so say hello, hello, hello if you're painting with me tonight. Say hello, hello if someone's painting you who's painting with me tonight. And let's give props to you-know-who. Oh, yeah, he's in my spot. You're in my spot, buddy. Say hi to your fans. I need to stand there. That's Mr. Butters. Hello, 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 artist. How you doing, sweetheart? Tina M is here, my resident sharer. She's always hitting those buttons to share my stuff. You're amazing. Bonnie's hanging out with us tonight. Hello, 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 Bonnie. Tina B is here. My Tinas are here. Oh, yeah. Isn't he a cutie? He's such a cutie. So, handy dandy table tonight. I got all sorts of stuff. I'll let you know what I'm using when I'm using it. Water, paper towel. I'm going to pour my paint, same colors all the time. Right, red, white, black, blue, yellow. Gloria's hanging out with us. Hello, 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 Gloria. How you doing? Marsh is here. Hi, Marsha. Hi, guys. Oh, thank you so much, artists, for the stars. You're amazing. You guys are all amazing. You all warm my heart. 6,000%. I'm going to put you in a handy-dandy holder, right? And then we'll get this thing started. So I have to pour paint, obviously. I'm working on a 16 by 20. Like I said, tonight's practice session, though. So whatever you're working on, you know, canvas, mixed media paper, cardboard, pizza boxes. Donna Jean, first time here. Hello, 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 Donna. Everybody give Donna a warm Eve's Creations family. Hello, Donna. Yes. Hi, Diane. How you doing, lovey? Hello, hello, hello. Yes, Tina B, I'm feeling much better. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, yes. So, the doctor fixed me up really good. We're doing much, much, much better tonight. I had a really good weekend. Steph is hanging out with us. Hello, 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 Steph. How you doing? So, we got Steph in the house. There's Sheila. Hey, Sheila. Howdy, howdy. Sheila just ordered a brush set. I set that out tonight, so very excited about that. Yes, so you get all the brushes that I use for every single party. How amazing is that, right? So fun. So fun. There's nothing in the world. There's nothing in the world like a set of new brushes. Like 6,000%. I don't know. There's just something about new brushes that just gets me all excited. Gets me all sorts of excited. Okay. So, you guys. Right, Steph? I'm telling you, it's the little things sometimes. You thought it was Monday. All right. So, you guys like when I do a picture, a full picture with the how-tos. So let's get a picture up here. So I'm going to show you how to do a lighthouse during the day and at night. So we got to turn around. We need a sky, right? So I'm going to grab, I'm just grabbing Big Boy using 1-inch flat. Nice, Sheila. You're using small canvases tonight. You get to, yeah, and you could always gesso over them, so no worries. Carolyn is here. Tina B loves the new brushes. Yes, Tina B, you just have to learn to use them. Alright, I'm grabbing white and yellow. I'm grabbing white and yellow. Okay? So, white and yellow. And I'm gonna do a sunset sky going into nighttime. Because we're gonna do a daylight and a nighttime lighthouse. So that's what I'm throwing up here real fast. So you guys, you know, this is your time. So if you have any questions for me, you know, we'll try to stay on topic, but if you have any questions for me, 6,000% ask me. 6,000%. You know, this is your time to learn and grow as artists. So ask me, ask away, ask whatever you need to ask. It's all good. There's no, you know, there's no bad questions. There's lots of, you know, lots of new things you guys are learning. That's why I do these videos. That's why I go live, so you guys can learn what's up. Yep, Tina B, you don't use your paint, you don't use your brushes. So that was just yellow. And then I'm going to grab red. Okay, I'm going to grab red and some yellow and a smidge of white, like a tiny, tiny smidge. And I'm going to come in here in the center now, right? So whenever you're doing something, especially a sky, if you're going to have yellow in it, make your yellow space bigger than what you want it to be, because it gets eaten up really fast. So you're going to lose it super, super, super quick if you don't, you know, so you always want to make your yellow space, you always want to make your yellow space bigger than what you want it to be, because when you start adding the other colors, it gets chewed up really fast. Because the other colors just dominate it. It's just dominating the yellow. So you're going to turn around and wind up losing your... And it's really hard to recapture pure yellow again. I'm going to wipe off my brush, and I'm just going to softly go across this area right here. So, this way it blends into what I'm doing. Alright. Can you explain blending a little bit? Yes, Steph. Hold on, Tina B wrote something. Watching the Bob Ross channel on Pluto. I love watching almost more than creating. Absolutely. So, blending, I do have a how-to on blending. It's out there. It's on my YouTube channel. Now I'm going to grab just red. And I'm actually blending right now, Steph. So, what, you have to blend when your paint is wet, you know. So you definitely have to have your paint wet. And what you do is you turn around and see how I have that line right there. So I'm going to wipe my brush off. And very soft touch. I'm just going to go very soft across that. And then with the two colors being wet, and then I turn my brush the other way because I like the little streaks, but you know, it's personal preference. Hey, Cynthia. It'll blend together. So basically you just go from the new color that you're adding, right? I'm going to grab red. You go from the new color that you're adding, and then I wipe off my brush. Get all the excess paint out of them. And then right here, I'm softly going to go between the color that was there and the new color and just go back and forth. That's it. And as long as your paint is still wet, now I'm turning it to get those little jagged lines because I like those. But as long as your paint's still wet, the two colors will blend together. A lot of problem people have is that the paint dries on them. And if that's the case, if your paint dries on you quicker than you want it to, you can turn around and I could take my brush and I'll dip it into some water. Alright, do a couple of taps. And then I'm going to dab it on my paper towel, but I'm going to dab it really, like, not a lot. Not a lot, just a little bit. And with the moist brush, you can go in, right? If it's dry already, with the moist brush, you can go in and do the back and forth thing. And that'll help with your blending too. Think you've been missing the step of wiping it off? Yes, Steph. So you have to wipe your brush off. you gotta wipe your brush off if you're going to, because you don't want to have the color on your brush, because then you're just going to be painting that color in. Alright, so I'm going to grab blue now. I'm going to grab some blue, and I'm going to come over here and do the blue. So, and honestly, it's just a sweeping motion. That's all you need to do. And the more you go over it, the more it's going to blend together. So if you want it really, really, really soft, really, really blended tones, the more that you brush over it, the more it's going to blend together. Another trick is that I want to put this on, right? I'm going to put this on nice and wet. And I got to move quickly because I'm over a really hot light. So my paint dries really, really, really fast. Another thing is if your paint, say the color you're blending into is dry, I can wipe off. I'm going to clean my brush. I'll just roll tap down my brush and get the blue out of it. And you could always turn around and grab the original. Now this is wet. I'm going to grab my original color of the red, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go with the red. Now blue is going to just suck up everything, so you got to be really, really careful with the blue. But you can go back in. So I'm going to wipe off my brush since it picked up a lot of blue just now. Grab some more red, and you can go with the original color and work that in. So there's a couple little tricks on my YouTube channel. I do have a how-to blending where I go into it a little more in depth. Okay, so, but I hope that helped you for now. Okay, so we have our Scotch. So, water, right? We need water. So, blue paint. I'm going to hold my brush back here, put it straight up against my canvas, and I'm going to go swoop right across. Bam. Right across. Faster you go, straighter it's going to be. And remember, it's water, so water isn't always perfectly straight. Okay, because we need our lighthouses to be on something. So now I'm just going to do blue. And I'm going to grab some red. You'll definitely look for that video. Okay, excellent. Yes, yes, it's out there. It is out there. It is on the YouTube channel, How To Blending. If you can't find it on the YouTube channel, if you go on my Facebook page and you find the little magnifying glass that's on the top of the page, that's to search, right? And you could turn around and search, just put in blending, and the video should pop up. Okay, guys? So any of you that don't know that, you can do a search on anybody's page. Like if you're looking for something in particular, there's a little tiny magnifying glass on the top part of the page. And if you hit that, you can type in what you're looking for. And this way you don't have to scroll through like all these posts to find it. So that's the cool part. So I do that a lot. Like I do that for myself when I'm looking to share a link or something. And this way I can look through my videos and be able to find them faster. So I'm just doing blue and red. Doing blue and red. That's all I'm doing. Okay, right, because we need water. We need water. Yep, we do. Lighthouses are on the water. You guys knew you were going to get a scene out of me with this one. I think you just like to sneak an extra instructional painting out of me. I think that's what you guys like to do. Right, you're being sneaky Pete's. Okay, so now we have water. Now I want to grab just white paint on the tip of Big Boy here. Did you get my information order? What nights are you on? Sue, yes, your brush set is on its way. And I am on Tuesdays and Fridays. So I'm grabbing white paint, and I'm just going to come in here, and I am just going to swoop, and then lean it on its side, and then go straight again. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab over here. Then I'm going to turn my brush to the sides, do a little swoopy swoop, and pull it out. Get some waves in my water. Alright, I got a big old glob. Got globs on your brush, you're going to get globs on your painting. Oh yeah. Alright, so there we go. And let me pull my brush a little straighter. And we got to do another one back here. And let's do one here. These are fun. Alright, so, okay. And, so now I have to put some rocks in, I guess. Right? Put some rocks in. We need land for our lighthouses to be on. So let me do that. As you guys are playing, if you were making a background. Okay. And so brush is going to go in the water. So Sue, 6,000%, I do have your info. Yes, 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 I do. And your brush set is on its way out. And I'm going to grab a soda. I ran out of time, didn't get to make my coffee. Hello, 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 everybody. Hi. So, okay. So I'm going to do my rocks now. And, I got to pour more paint. So, I'm going to turn around and let's do the rocks. How should we do the rocks? I don't know. Let's do the rocks, grayscale. Because it's going to be easier for you to see them. Okay, so I'm going to... Hello, 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 Bonnie. Did you review the questions later and answer and you didn't get to answer live? I try my best, Bonnie. I do, I will get a notification if somebody posts on my videos. So I do my best that if, as long as I am notified, I try to go back and answer anything that is going on. The best way to ask me a question, though, if you ever need to ask me a question, is to message me through Facebook. You'll get, that's the easiest, fastest way and the most direct. So, big boy, nice and clean, grabbing black, grabbing white. But I do try to answer the comments. So, we're going to come on this side, whoop, close up, and let's see, we need some rocks, right? So, swoop, there it is. There it is. Okay, black and white. Black and white's all I grabbed. And some more black, some more white. Swoop, there it is. There's another one. Okay, so Tina B says she was watching Bob Ross. He's the whole reason I paint. I started watching him when I was like 12 years old. And he is the reason that I paint. 6,000%. So that's why I've been painting for so long. And, you know, I took a hiatus in my 20s because, you know, who doesn't? Partying and stuff is more important. Oh, to remind you, all of my videos are kid-friendly, so I'm going to try to watch this thing, and you guys try to watch your comments. Wonderful. I really enjoyed watching you, and this is only your second time. Thank you so much, Bonnie. That means so much. Thank you so much for that. That was really sweet. All right, so black and white, and let's do another one, right? Whoop, there it is. There's another one. Okay, so let's get some land on this bad boy. Let's get some land on here so we can turn around and put our lighthouses on here. So, a few things about a lighthouse. Okay, so I did a how-to. One of the first how-tos I ever did was doing 3D shapes, right? I went over doing triangles, cones, cylinders, prisms, Thank you so much, Gracie, for sharing. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's the thing. So a lighthouse is a cylinder. It's a cylinder, right? Or it's a cone, you know, because it's kind of triangle in shape. So using the same concepts is how you would paint your lighthouse. So if any of you out there are trying, I'm just grabbing white paint real fast to put a water edge on my rocks. If any of you are ever trying to paint something or draw something, try to break it down into shapes, because usually you guys notice how I do that when we do our videos, right? I turn around and say make a triangle, do this, do that, whatever, because if you break it down into shapes, you'll be able to draw it. And the thing is that I'm playing now. You see that? Oh, I started playing. That was bothering me. Funny how talking about your party days reminded you to mention your videos are kid-friendly. 6,000%, Diane. You got that right. You got that right, lovey. So, if you break whatever you're trying to paint into shapes, then you're going to know how to do the shading and the highlights and everything else. So that's why you want to do that. Alright, so we're to the point of putting a lighthouse on here. I'm going to stop playing with this. And I'm going to swirl tap dab big boy. And I'm going to get a nice nice straight edge on him. So I swirl tap dab him, right? And then when I dab him, I'm going to pull. You always pull in the shape of your bristles, okay? Don't ever do that. Go the direction of the bristles. And I'm going to get him nice, and see that? Woo! Sharp. Cut myself. Okay. And I'm going to grab, now obviously most of you know I'm going to grab white paint because we do mapping, right? So I'm going to grab the white paint just on the tip of the brush. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my brush back here. If you do a death grip, you're going to wind up with a shaky line and a thick line, because the closer you get to here, the thicker your line's going to be, and you're going to have, you know, you're going to press harder. So get into a habit of holding your brushes in different areas. So I'm going to hold my brush back here. This way the brush is going to do all the work. My line's going to be straighter. I won't have a death grip. I won't need like, you know, a bandage on my hand when I'm done, because I'm not working that hard. So I'm going to bring you guys up here. Whoop! Close up. Alright. And first thing you want to do is drop a straight line in. Okay? So also, whenever you're painting anything, always start off smaller than what you actually want it. Because as you play with it, the bigger it's going to get. You're welcome, Steph. The more you play with it, the bigger it's going to get. So always start off smaller than what you want it. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to put my brush right here, and I'm just going to go swoop straight down. Alright, so I'm going to do a line straight down. Bam. Alright. And I'm going to mix a tiny microscopic amount of black in this so you guys can see what I'm doing, because the white's not showing up. There we go. So, do a straight line going down. And then, when I'm done with that, I'm going to come on either side to do the triangle part. Okay, and the reason I do it like this is so I can turn around and get my angles kind of even Steven on both sides. Alright, so always start out smaller than what you want it, because see how I'm playing with this to try to get this super, super straight. and it just winds up getting bigger and bigger. I also do my center line so I can make sure that these guys are kind of even Steven on both sides. So they're both at the same angle. Okay, so this one I drew a little further out, but you know, like you could turn around. If you're not good with doing something at an angle, you can go from that center line and you could do like a point and a point, a point and a point, a point and a point. Make sure it's separated evenly. All right, and then once you have that in, now you could color it in. Okay, so the thing is that this is, and as you fill it in, you can fix it. So, like I said before, a lighthouse is like a cone or cylinder, so you want to put the rounded edge on the bottom. Alright, you want to make sure that the bottom has the rounded edge. Alright, and then when you shade this, I kind of shade it automatically. Let me get this all white. I kind of did it automatically because that's just what I do. So let me get this all white. I'm gonna learn how to talk eventually. Yes, I am. So when you shade this, you're gonna turn around and you're gonna do the edges. All right. So let me wipe off my brush. I'm gonna grab some black paint. And I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to put some black in here, and I'm going to put some black in there. Okay, so you shade your edges, and then you just kind of, you know, do a little smush smush with your brush here, like this. Okay, soften it out. Soften it out. And did you notice how many times I had to fix the edge line on my house? I think I fixed it like 4 times already, if not more. So that's okay. And I'm just pulling this into the middle. And now I'm going to wipe my brush off. Right? Who asked me about blending? Got to wipe that brush off. And then I'm going to go back and forth between the 2 colors. And I'm just going to keep going up and down and letting them soften out. Alright, same thing on the other side. Same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to go, this dried a little bit, that's why I'm pressing hard. Right, soften it out. And then if you want to get really drastic, you can add a highlight. So the highlight in the daytime, since there's no light on here, is going to be like right in the middle. So you can add your highlight. I'm going to wipe off my brush, and we're going to soften that into the shape as well. So that is how you would do the main body. Now, if you put a decoration on here, if you put a stripes or whatnot, you have to turn around and shade your stripes too. So I'm just going to switch to a smaller brush. I'm going to grab a 1/2 inch. It's the same as Big Boy, except it's only a 1/2 inch, and Big Boy is 1 inch. So say I want to do a red stripe, right? So you can go in like a pencil. You want to line your edge up to the edge of your object, and you have to make it round. You have to follow the same round that you created on the bottom. Okay, so the same round. Alright, now you have to turn around, and I'm going to make this bigger so you can see what I'm doing. You have to do the shading in your stripes or your design as well. Okay, so you can't have a design on here and have it a solid block of color, because then it's not going to look right. So now I'm going to grab the tiniest little smidge, microscopic amount of blue. And I'm going to come on the sides here, and I'm going to put the blue paint. And then I'm going to come on this side and put the blue paint. And then I'm going to wipe my brush off. And I want to soften this into that. All right, I'm just pulling very, very lightly, and I'm just pulling it into the center. Very, very light touch, okay? And then I'm going to grab a smidge of white. And where was my highlight before, right? So I got to put that in there. Wiping my brush off. And we're going to put the white, okay? And I'm very softly going to just kind of sweep that to blend in. Very soft touch, like barely there touch. So this way, it matches the rest of your design. All right, so you guys ketchup mustard on your cones, okay? And then I'm gonna show you the top part. I'm gonna show you adding a little house to it, and then we're gonna do one at night with the light shining, okay? Let's do a little bit of roll call. We got Bonnie in the house, and Artist, and Tina M, and Tina B. Gloria's hanging out with us. Marsha's here. Donna's a first timer. Hello, 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 Donna. We got Diane and Steph and Sheila. Carolyn's hanging out with us. We got Cynthia and Gracie. Hi, everybody. Is that titanium white or is it zinc white? Bonnie, it is titanium white. I know the letters are backwards, but I 6,000% recommend anybody who's learning to paint, use this paint, order it, dickblick.com. It's affordable, user-friendly, and this is titanium. So if you're trying to figure out what paint to get yourself, I have one painting kit left, which contains all the paint I use. You get a large amount of paint in the painting kit, and that's the paint. Okay, so now we got to do the top. We got to do the top of our lighthouse. So use a reference picture, guys. I'm using a reference picture. Right? Look at a few different lighthouses. If you go on Google and tap in lighthouse, and then there's a button called an images button on the top of the Google screen. If you turn around and hit that button, it's gonna pop up all these pictures. All these pictures of lighthouses. So you want to do that. Sheila, how much is my painting kit? My painting kit's $45 plus shipping and handling. You get an easel, 2 11 by 14 canvases, 5 containers of paint that are 4 ounces big. You get all of the brushes that I use, the same amount of brushes that's in the brush set. You get care and instructions. You get a palette, and you get a handy dandy bag to put it all in. And they're $45 plus shipping and handling. I have one left. So, yeah, you get the paint I'm using in resealable 4-ounce containers. All right. So now I'm gonna grab my white. I'm grabbing Mini Me. He's a small shader, and grabbing my white paint, and I want to do my top of my lighthouse. So again, you have to follow the same curve you started out with. So this curve is your money curve. It's going to go into your design, and it's going to go into the top part that you do. So I'm going to turn around and put my curve on here. All right, and then we're going to make this nice thick square, because that's like where the railing piece is. Okay. Alright, you gotta follow that curve. Gotta follow that curve. Okay, curve is key. That curve is key. Okay, so once we have that piece, then we got to do where the light sits, right? So where these two pieces end, that's where I follow it up. And where that piece ends right there, I'm going to follow up. Again, going to do the curve. Okay, got to do that curve. Curve is key. The curve is key. Oh yeah, the curve is key. There we go. So now we have where the light sits. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to find my center. Oh, find the center of this object. Come up here and put a dot. And then I'm going to swoop. Angle line that way. Swoop. Angle line this way. And curve the bottom. Fill it in. Fill it in. Okay, now you have the shape of the top of your lighthouse. And we have to add the panels in and the railing and the ceiling, and then you're going to have your lighthouse painted. So they're super fun to do. They make a great painting. They're all that good stuff. And again, so this part, I'm going to follow the same rules with the shading. So I'm going to grab a little tiny bit of black. Actually, it's gray. It's the black and white mixed together on my palette. And I'm going to come in here and fill this in, right? Because that's like the railing area. And, you know, it's up to you how many details you want to do. If you want to add the little railing lines, you can add the little railing lines in there. If you just want to make it a solid color, you could do that too. You know, it's your lighthouse. Do what you want. Alright, so I'm filling this in some gray color. Alright, notice my curves. Okay, so as you're filling stuff in, if you need to put that curve back in there, put that curve back in there. And I'm going to wipe my brush off. I'm going to grab some white paint. And I'm going to, right, here's my highlight. Right, highlight, 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 highlight. Right, so I'm going to put my white paint in the same spot. I'm going to put it in the same spot. Right, wipe my brush off, and I'm going to zigzag zoom. I say zigzag zoom, I'm doing this with my brush. That's what I mean, zigzag zoom. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to zigzag zoom between the two colors to soften the edges. Okay, and I'm going to grab a microscopic amount of black. I'll come on this side, put the black on. I'm going to come on this side, put the black on. Wipe my brush off, and then I'm just going to pull that into my shape. Alright, there we go. And if you go out of your lines, that's what spit is for. Okay, so let's do our ceiling. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do gray. So I'm going to do the gray for the ceiling. Or the roof, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to do the gray for the roof. Do that curve. Right, do that curve. If you remember anything from tonight, do the curve. Right? If you remember anything from tonight, do the curve. Gotta do the curve, girl. Gotta do the curve. Okay, so wipe my brush off, grab my white paint. Where's my highlight? Follow that up. Put in my white paint. Yeah, so the ceiling is literally just a triangle with a rounded bottom. Remember when I said before, look for shapes? So it's seriously just a triangle. You guys can draw a triangle. I know you can draw a triangle. So that's why I always say try to break things down into shapes so you're able to paint them. Curves are beautiful. Lord knows I have them. Oh yeah, curvaceous. That's me. Oh, jeez. All right, I'm going to zigzag zoom. Blend that highlight in a little bit. And I'm going to grab my microscopic amount of black paint now. Put it on the edge here. Put it on the edge here. Wipe my brush off. That's right, Tina B. Gotta love your curves. Gotta love the curves. 6,000%. And I'll soften that. I'm going to soften this. I lost some of my highlight, so let's put that back in. No worries. Okay, that happens sometimes. When you're playing with your light in the dark, sometimes you lose your, you know, you'll lose the light or you'll lose the dark. Just put it back in. We don't stress such stuff. Thank you, Bonnie. And, you got it, Steph. All right. So now I'm going to grab Mr. Nifty. Mr. Nifty. And I apologize, fam. I've been slacking on sending the Nifties out. It's all set up over there. And I'm going to get them all ready tonight to go in the mail tomorrow. I promise. So, Mr. Nifty's in the house. He is a small detailed brush that I give away for free. Whoever sends me support. And I'm just going to grab my black paint. And we're going to come into this. Yep, Butters is teaching with me. And come into this section right here. And we're going to do a line. Right? And then I'm going to put line there and a line there. And there you go. Okay? And, you know, like I said, guys, if you want to do the railing details, you can, you know, like doot 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 doot. You can do the railing detail if you want to. You know, it's up to you. It's whatever your little heart desires. Okay, boop, boop. Right now we have our little railing. If you want to add a window, you can add a window. Okay. Now, again, if you add the window, you're going to do your 2 lines down. And then the bottom up, you know, then you have to do that curve. Okay? You have to do that curve. You have to do the curve. Because if you don't do the curves in all of your lines, it's not going to look right. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, there's the Mr. Butters. That's why we introduced Butters. Because sometimes he just wants to join in. And I'm going to do a little window frame. And do a little window frame on this. He's excited for the curves. I love it, Steph. I love it. Another thing is that the top part of your window has to be more narrow than the bottom. Okay? Because this is getting thinner as it goes up. So if you put an object on here, it has to... Sully says hi and Jimmy sound asleep. Aw, the little Jimmy. He's so cute, Diane. So if you're putting a window on your lighthouse, not only does the lines on the top and the bottom have to be curved, but as you go further up, the top part has to be skinnier than the bottom part. Okay, so let's throw a house on this bad boy, right? Because sometimes they have the little houses. It's been relaxing watching tonight. You have to go get the boys to bed. Oh, you're so welcome, Steph. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, we got to turn around and put a house. We need a little house on this bad boy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. Alright, I'm going to swirl tap that big boy. I'm going to grab that gray paint, nice and thin and flat on my brush. Right, what's a house? It's a square. Yes. I'm going to come over here. Whoop. Right across. I'm going to add more white to that so you can see what I just did. Alright, ready? Whoop. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 lines. 3 lines down. I'm just pulling straight across. I'm going to make it a little lower than the lighthouse. Okay, so there's the lighthouse bottom. There's the bottom of my house. Bam. There it is. Alright, and let's make, I'm going to grab some darker paint, and I'm going to make the edges a little darker here. Make the bottom a little darker. Wipe my brush off. Do a little swoop swoop on that. Right? Not too much. I like the separation of color, so that's how I am. I got to make a roof. Okay, so I'm going to do my line, boop, and my angle, boop. Come across, bam. Just like that. Color that in. Here we go. I'm going to grab some more white paint. And shoot, because the roof is going to be lighter than the building. 6,000%. I'm going to wipe my brush off to get it nice and thin and flat. I bought some cheap paint to use at home. You'll save your Winsor & Newtons for good paintings because they're pricey. You're supposed to go get, but you got to call. Oh, yeah, so, you know, if you guys are practicing, but you have to remember, because I just had this conversation with somebody. Tina, I'm going to hold my brush back here. Thin line of white paint. And I'm going to shoot some panels in my house here. So you guys have to remember that the paint, sometimes it's not you guys. Sometimes it's the paint. So if you guys are using the craft paint, which I understand the attraction because it's $1 for the tube, craft paint does not blend. So if you're having trouble blending, it might not be you. It might be the paint. And Sue, Winsor & Newton is really good paint. So, cool beans on that one. And I'm going to add a little window here. So, you have to keep that in mind that sometimes it's not you. Sometimes it's the paint. And if you're using the craft paint is good for doing solid blocks of color. So if you're doing a painting and the objects, like I'm doing this window, that would be a solid block of color. So you could use the craft paint. But if you're trying to blend a sky, that's right, Tina. If you're trying to blend a sky, it's not your friend. It's not. It's going to be very tricky and difficult. So it might not be you. It might be the paint. Just saying. I am just saying that that might be the issue. Okay. I'm going to put some black lines in here. Put a little shadow underneath the roof here. Okay. So 6,000%. Just keep that in mind. That sometimes it is actually the paint, not the painter. Alright, and I totally lost my window. I blended my window right out. There we go. There's my window. Okay, so adding a house to a lighthouse is no big deal. You can even come in on your lighthouse and I would add a little shadow where the house is against the lighthouse. Wipe my brush off. And I'm going to grab my white paint now because this is dry. I can't blend it out. So I'm going to grab some white paint. I'm going to grab some white paint and blend that shadow out. So you can add a little shadow where the house is. And again, you got to do it with your color too. So I'm going to grab my red. I'm going to add a little shadow where the red is. Right, pull that through. So I grab my red, and now that's on there. I'm going to grab a microscopic amount of that blue and throw the blue on. Okay, so the house is creating a shadow on your lighthouse. Just like that. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Okay, wipe my brush off. You've probably spent more on the tubes of craft paint than I would have on a bulk of good quality paint in primary colors. Probably, Tina B. Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, bringing it on back. Hi guys, y'all with me still? I hope you're all with me. I hope you're having a good time. That is the whole point. So, we're going to do our lighthouse in the dark next. So, if you guys have any questions, ask me. No worries. Hey, we all do that. It's very tempting because it's only $1. Thanks, Bonnie. It's only $1, so it is extremely tempting to buy the craft paint. It really is. So, Bonnie, Artist, Tina M, Tina B, Gloria, Marcia, Donna, I hope you're having a good time, love. Welcome to the fam. Diane, Steph, Sheila, Carolyn, Cynthia, and Gracie. Don't buy the craft paint if you want to do a picture where you're blending. If you're going to be blending, no craft paint. Dollar Tree has tubes of acrylic for $1.25. 50 cents at Walmart. Nice. See, I get it. I understand. I get the temptation. I really, really, really do. Alright. I'm swirl, tap, dabbing, big boy. Alrighty. And now we're going to do our nighttime lighthouse. Thanks, Marcia. Thank you, sweetie. So, now we're going to do the nighttime lighthouse with the rays of light, okay? I'm on the flip side now. Hi! Craft paint almost made me stop painting. But after using good paint, I kept painting. Yes, Bonnie, yes. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Sometimes it's not you. It could be the paint. 6,000%. And I don't want to see you guys get frustrated. Like the lighthouse in the sky. What's the name of the paints? I bought watercolor for different. My paint is Blick Acrylic. Blick Acrylic. You love my vocabulary. Yes, Tina M. At dickblick.com. You got it. And if you're getting the half gallon, get the pump. That's what I have. It's a half gallon. It's a ton of it. You buy the pumps. And they're $20. So you get a ton of paint. Blick Acrylic. Okay. So I'm grabbing my black. I'm grabbing a little bit of white. I grabbed big boy. We need some rocks for this bad boy. Alright, I'm going to come in here. There it is. There it is. So, if any of you guys like any paintings that I do, any of the originals for all the paint parties, they're all for sale, and I could customize them with a name or a saying. So, just keep that in mind. If there's any ones that you see for the paint parties that I'm doing. Hi, Lisa B. How you doing, sweetheart? Okay, so I'm going to put in another rock. Bam. There it is. There it is. Putting our rocks in. I'm just grabbing white and black paint. That's all I'm doing, people. Is all I'm doing. Throwing some rocks in here. I did a how-to on mountains and rocks. So if you guys need to up your rock game on how to paint rocks and stuff, just there's a how-to. It's one of the first ones I did, actually. Alright, so now we got something for the lighthouse to sit on. Let me put my water lines in because I need to. Because I need to. Yes, I do. There we go. Got a nice little wave coming off of my rock. Bam. Okay. So, I'm going to swirl tap that big boy. And, I know. Let's do this lighthouse, blue. Right? Why not? You don't have to make your lighthouse white if you don't want to. Good night, Gloria. Thanks for coming by. Boy, Butters is being a chatty Cathy tonight, isn't he? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Alright, so we're going to make our lighthouse blue. I'm grabbing my white paint. I'm grabbing some blue paint. Pulling nice and thin and flat. Okay, I'm going to hold my brush back here. Remember, do our center line. Swoop. Just like that. Okay, then I'm going to turn around and do the same thing, right, guys? So you want to do your angled lines. And you always start off smaller than what you want it to be. Okay, right? So then this way I can make sure that it's kind of even Steven on both sides. Color it in. Right? You can fix your lines as you're coloring it in. So, and I make sure my brush strokes are following that curve that would be on the bottom. Now, he's hiding behind the rock. You don't see the curve on the bottom, but it's there, okay? So, whenever you're doing a lighthouse, you got to think tube. It's a tube. Yes, it is. It's a tube. There we go. I'm going to run this down like this. Bam. Fix my line up. Alright. There we go. You looked up Blick. What are the basic colors? Red. Yellow. I'll tell you exactly what I have, Gracie. This is exactly what I have. So, my yellow is chrome yellow. Fire red, titanium white, phthalo blue, Mars black. Sorry guys, I gotta keep walking over there to get to the paint. I actually finished my my room up. So I'm getting my living room back. I made an apartment for Butters. You guys want to see it? Look. Can you see it? Hold on. I made Butters his own little apartment. That's his spot. Yeah, so my my art room, whoops, sorry guys. My art room is all finished. So now all that stuff I was sitting on before, I actually get to put it away. So I'm grabbing just blue paint now. And I'm going to come in and do my edges. Okay. I'm doing my edges. I'm using the flat of the brush. I'm lining it up. Alright. Now do my edges on this side. I'm like painting on the opposite side of this, so it's a little tricky. Okay. I'm going to do my edges on this side. Right? Wipe my brush off. Chrome yellow, fire red, titanium white, Mars black, phthalo blue. Phthalo is spelt weird. It's like a weird word. It starts with like an H or something. Right? Wipe my brush off. I'm going to blend it in. Okay, and I'm going to grab my white paint. Now, it's nighttime, so the light is going to hit it where your light is going to be coming out of your lighthouse. So you don't want to, unless you have a light coming right at you, you don't want to do your highlight in the center like we did for the daytime one. So with it being nighttime, your highlight is actually going to go, I know I just put the dark paint there, I totally forgot about this. I forgot the highlights are going to go. The highlight is actually going to go on the edge where your light is coming out. So that whole putting the dark edge in there, sorry about that. I totally forgot. We're doing a nighttime one. So that's where your highlight is going to go. Fixing my line again. Notice, see what I was saying about like when you play with it and fix it, how this lighthouse is getting bigger and bigger? Okay? So that's why I say always make it smaller than what you actually want it. Alright, I'm going to wipe off my brush. Mars Black is really you only need a touch. Yes, yes. So anytime you use black, a little bit of black goes a long way. Small amount. And then the dark is going to be on the other side, which I'm going to grab some red with my blue to get it even extra dark, and then the dark is going to be on the other side. Okay, so, and notice I grabbed red with my blue. I didn't grab black with my blue. You don't always have to grab black to make something darker. Alright, now I'm going to blend this in. Again, doing the curved lines. Sorry guys, it's really tricky for me to paint on this side. So I have to keep fixing my lines. I'm going to wipe off my brush. And I'm going to soften this in the middle. A light touch. And I'm doing the swoop with my brush to get those lines to follow the curve. Okay. Alright, so now we have to do the top piece. Okay, again, you're going to follow your swoop. I just grabbed white paint, that's all I did. So there's our top piece. And then we have to put where the light's coming out. Right? Like I said, I line it up with these two parts right there. And then we have to put the ceiling or the roof. Again, curve a line. Find your center. Make your triangle. I'm not going to stress this stuff too much. Like I said, it's a little tricky for me painting on this side, so everything's a little cattywampus. But I already showed you how to do it over there, so I'm not going to stress it. Alright? Cobalt blue is just a little brighter. You'll be fine with cobalt. It's not that different. It's not that different, cobalt. So I am just putting in my roof. Make sure I have that curved line. And putting in the white highlight. Okay. So, what I wanted to show you on this one, I keep playing with this and I don't need to because there's only, I wanted to show you two things with a nighttime lighthouse. Well, a couple of things. The first thing is the fact that your highlight on your house is going to be where your light is coming out of. Okay, so you want your highlight to be on the edges where your light is coming out of. Okay, now I'm going to wipe my brush nice and clean, and I'm going to grab my white paint and a nice thin edge. Okay, and you're going to come out of your lighthouse with your light. So you want to turn around and give yourself a spot right here, and then you're going to pull. Let me come up behind you guys and give you guys a close-up. Oh. So this way I can do this from behind you and it'll actually come out good. Alright, I'm holding my brush back here again. I'm putting it straight onto the canvas, and I am going to pull at an angle. Swoop. Okay, and then the same with this piece down here. Swoop. Just like that. Alright, now when I fill this in, it's not going to be solid white. So I'm going to grab a little bit of white paint. I'm going to grab a little tiny bit of white paint so it's still kind of see-through. Little tiny bit. And then I'm going to turn around, and as I get further away, the light is going to soften. So I grab the smallest amount of white paint, and I'm going to wipe off my brush, and then I'm just going to pull this small amount of white paint outwards. So this way, now you hear me rubbing because it dried really fast on me, but this way it gets more and more see-through the further away you go. Alright, so you want this part to be nice and bright, and then have it get see-through the further away you go. Okay? So that's how you'd want to do the light. Another thing that you could do, if you wanted to, is I'm going to grab my fluffy brush, is you can turn around and do like a little foggy light mist. Like, I don't know what you call it. So I'm grabbing Fluffy, smush them with the white paint, get all the excess paint out of them. And I'm going to come over here on this side. I'll show you on this side. So you can do like a, and I'm just swirling my brush. So say it's like foggy out, you could turn around and do like a light fog. Now, if you noticed, I didn't grab any more paint. I am literally just moving this paint around because you don't need a lot, and you want the light and dark areas to create that glowy, misty look. And now I'm going to turn around and I'm going to grab I'm going to grab that 1/2 inch flat again. So now I'm just white paint, and then once I do that, then I can turn around and put in the lines of light. There we go. And again, just pulling it through so it gets softer and softer as I pull it through. Okay. Another trick to doing the light from the lighthouse is you could turn around and do, you like the foggy you added, right? So it's a small amount of paint. Another trick you can do, which I'm not going to attach this to a lighthouse, I'm just going to show you the trick on how to do the light. Another trick that you can do is I'm going to grab Big Boy. I'm going to swirl, tap, dab him. I'm going to grab my white paint. Grab some more white paint. And if you guys have any questions, ask me now, because I think this is the last thing I need to show you. I think I showed you everything else. I just wanted to show you the different rays of light. So you can do the ray of light of where you don't grab a lot of paint, you just keep pushing it out. You can do the foggy mist and then put the light inside of it. And you can also do this trick, which is really cool. So I'm grabbing nice clean Big Boy, white paint. I'm not drawing a lighthouse. I'm just showing you how to do the light. Okay? And alright, so notice I'm holding back here. I'm letting the brush do the work to pull my line. Okay, so now I have my triangle of what would be the white. And I'm going to come to this point and pull it out. And you can do like a glaze. So you want your brush to be a little more wet. So I'm swirl, tap, dabbing them. But when I dab them, I'm basically just dabbing the drips off of it. And you can tell it's actually heavier. So you want to leave the brush to be more wet. So I basically just dab the drips off of it. And now I'm going to grab my white paint. And I'm going to do a little smush smush over here. And this is going to cause the white to go on like a glaze. So it'll be completely see-through. Adding the water to it makes it completely see-through. So you can still see the pieces behind it. So that's another way I like to do the light from the lighthouses. Because you don't want it to be solid. Light isn't solid. So you don't want it to be solid white. So I'll do like the glaze on there. And then I'll wipe my brush off, dry it out a bit, and then I'll grab some white paint and come into the triangle part and just make that more defined. Wipe my brush off and then sweep that through. So there's there's 3 different ways you can do your light, guys. You can turn around and use the paint and just keep pulling it out, not grabbing any extra, and it'll thin out for you. You can do the foggy look, where you just push some paint around and then do the light going through it. And you can do, Marcia, you like the glazing way? Yeah, and then this way is easy too, and basically you're just using a brush that's a little more wet. You don't want the brush to be dripping water, but you do want it to have extra water, and this will thin your white paint out so it's more see-through. And then you can build on top of that, you know, if you want to build it up a little bit more, right? Always start where the lighthouse would be, and then you can pull it out. Okay, kind of like the first way I showed you. And then I'm just kind of doing sweeping motions like this. So you can build upon the glaze. It depends on how bright you want the lighthouse light to be. So there you have it, guys. So anything taken away tonight? First thing is, you know, your shadow, your highlight. Make sure everything's following that curve. When you do a design, when you do a window, when you do any of that, make sure you're following the curve. If you put a house, you want to put a little shadow on the lighthouse part. When you do nighttime, the highlight is going to be where the light is coming out. And then you have the 3 ways to do the light. Using only a little bit of paint, making a mist, doing a glaze. Alright, guys? That's it. That's lighthouses. You guys got this. You can totally make triangles. I know you can. You're good. Curves and good paint for blending. Yes, make sure everything. I just got home a little bit ago. Just jumped on. Hi, Punky. Thank you so much, sweetheart. So, Friday's our You're Welcome artists. Hi, Janine. Thank you so much. Hello, sweetheart. You're welcome, Marsha. Friday's Nosy Gnome, guys. Friday's Nosy Gnome. You're welcome, Cynthia. Janine, welcome to the fam, love. You like the one on the left. This one? The daytime one? Yeah, it was hard for me to paint the nighttime one, but you guys got what you needed to get out of that, so I'm not gonna stress it. Good night, Lisa B. Thanks for joining me. So, Nosy Gnome is Friday, guys. Oh, yeah. Good night, Diane. Getting all those Valentines in. Thank you so much, Carolyn. And then the following Friday is our Dream Catcher. Everyone's digging this one. We'll have a nice big group for... Good night, Tina M. That's following Friday. Good night, Bonnie. Tina B, you hitting me with all those hearts. You're awesome. You like the night version one better. Oh, the one over here. Yeah, the nighttime one. The nighttime one's fun. Those are cool. Those are cool. You're welcome, Gracie. Oh, I'm glad you had you enjoyed yourself. Thank you so much, honey. Thank you so much, guys. And always free to watch. Tips are appreciated. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. And there's stars is enabled. You can hit the stars button. Thank you so much for everybody for your support and your orders of the brush sets and the brush kits. You all warm my heart. 6,000%. You guys leave the lights on, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Can I show Fridays again? Sure, hon. So, Sue, we started Nosy Gnome, Keys and Eve's Creations paint party thing. So there's a Thanksgiving one, there's a Christmas one, and now we have him doing Valentine's. So Nosy Gnome is going to be a thing. Thanks, Tina B. So he's going to be a thing. So think about what pajamas you want to put on him. What do you want your Valentines to say? What color is his house going to be? I want to show you clouds. So all that good stuff. I'm going to show you how to make something look like old and wood. Lots of good things in here. So super cute. And then the Dream Catcher, then Patty Porcupine is coming up, and then our Clover Vase. And then I'm working on another St. Patty's one, and then Nosy Gnome St. Patrick's Day version is going to be coming up too. So, thank you, everybody. Yep, Nosy Gnome. So he's the thing. He's going to be for every holiday. We've got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, and now Valentine's. He's going to be a St. Patty's Day. So every holiday, Nosy Gnome's going to be part of the deal. Because the fam wanted, they wanted more. They wanted more of the gnome. He's awesome, though. I like him. I like him a lot. Alright, guys, on that note, thank you so much for watching me. I hope you all have an amazing week. And I'll see you all on Friday, okay? You all warm my heart. Have fun and go create. Mwah. Night, everybody. Good night.